We've said that the term cognition refers to the mental states like knowing and believing, and to paint the spaces that we use to arrive at those states. So, for example, reasoning is a cognitive process. So its perception. We use information that we perceive through our senses to make our decision or to avoid the release. So, the memory and imagination, which related to the knowledge of things that happened in the past or may happen in the future. So, perceiving, remembering, imagining, and mental processes that lead to knowing or believing. Yet each of these processes have limitations and can lead us to hold mistaken belief or make false prediction. Take memory, for example. Maybe you have heard of a study in which people share a list of related words. Let's say a list of different kinds of fruit. After hearing this list, they present you with several additional words, well, blanket and cherry. Neither of these words on the original list, and while people will correct, bracket was not on the original list. They also claim incorrectly that the word cherry was on the list. Most people are convinced that they have the word cherry on the original list. Why do they make such a mistake? Well, we think because the words on the list were so closely related, the brain stored only the gist of what they heard. For example, that all the items on the list were types of the foods. When we tap our memory, our brains often fill in details, and quite often these details are actually false. See this filling phenomenon with perception. Perception is a faculty that allows us to process information in the present, and we take it via our senses. Information that they saw they when they have been over the people here said but it is missing or just logically completes it, they quit even though it never said. So if I were to say the sunrise is and then people do the heart word is in cognitive psychology we have seen the inaccurate filling in details. It's called a blind spot. After connects back to the eye into the brain, they are now photoreceptors in the area where the nerve connects to the eye. So that particular area that we incapable detecting images, it produces a blind spot in our field vision. We are not aware of it because the brain fills in what it seems to be wrong with the image, so the picture always appears complete to us. He was anticipating future events in our lives, but the years which we imagine details can lead to unrealistic expectations and can bias our decisions. So, Peter, suppose I ask you to imagine land salad. No problem, right? But I bet you imagine specific ingredients. Did you have tomatoes, onions, lettuce? Minded. Our brains will fill in all sorts of details that might not be part of other disappointment for us. If the next time we order the salad in restaurant, we have imagined the salad in mind. That's not necessarily what we got in the plate. What we assume we imagined is accurate. We should be aware our earlier imagination has built in future the blind spot, which makes our prediction fall short of reality.